Good evening. My name is Jaron Niger, and I am the president of the YMS Student Council. On behalf of the YES and YMS Music Departments, YMS Student Council, and respective school administrators, I'm excited to welcome you to our 2024 Veterans Day program to honor the service, men, and women of our United States Armed Forces. Originally known as Armistice Day, the observance of Veterans Day originated in 1919 on the first anniversary of the 1918 armistice that ended World War I. In 1938, November 11th became an official national holiday of the United States. And in 1954, the name was changed from Armistice Day to Veterans Day to honor those who had served in all U.S. wars. Today, we celebrate and honor those service people in our local communities. We ask that you treat this program with reverence and respect. The students and adults have worked hard to put this presentation together. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome Blaine West to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Lane West, and I'm the Student Council Vice President. Many historians have investigated who made the first flag for our country, but nobody is absolutely certain who designed it or made it. At the signing of the Declaration of Independence, a flag known as the Continental Colors or Grand Union Flag was formed. While that flag shares commonalities with our modern flag, the use of stars was not introduced until late 1776, when George Washington, Colonel George Ross, and Congressman Robert Morris visited the home of Bethany Ross with a rough draft of a flag for a newly formed country. Now, in its 27th variation since that time, our modern flag features 13 stripes to represent the original 13 colonies that rebelled against Great Britain, and 50 stars to represent each state being union. The United States flag is revered as a symbol of freedom and liberty. The color white represents purity and innocence, the color red represents hardiness and valor, and the color blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Please welcome Anna Schultes to the podium.
My name is Anna Schultes, and I am the Student Council Secretary. Adopted by the General Assembly in 1917 as part of the commemoration of the state's 1916th centennial celebration, the original Indiana state banner consisted of a gold torch that represents liberty and enlightenment. The rays around the torch represent their far-reaching influence. The 19 stars represent Indiana's place as the 19th state to join the United States. The banner was adopted after a competition was sponsored by the Daughters of the American Revolution. The winning design was by Paul Hadley of Mooresville, Indiana. In 1955, the name and dimensions were changed from that of a banner to a flag by the General Assembly. Today, the Indiana state flag is always displayed on the observer's right of the American flag. Please stand in silence for the presentation of colors by Scouts BSA members Samuel Eller and Cale Waterman.
Color guard, post the colors. Color guard, retreat.
Please remain standing for the introduction of the Star-Spangled Banner by Student Council member Claire Miller.
My name is Claire Miller, and I am a member of the Student Council. On On September 14, 1814, U.S. soldiers at Baltimore's Fort McHenry raised a huge American flag to celebrate a crucial victory over British forces during the War of 1812. The sight of those broad stripes and bright stars inspired Francis Scott Key, an attorney and amateur poet, to write a song that eventually became the national anthem of the United States. Key's words gave new significance to a national symbol and started a tradition through which generations of Americans have invested the flag with their own meanings and memories. At this time, we ask you to remain standing for the playing of our national anthem as performed by the 8th grade band.
name is Dan Miller, and I'm the student council sponsor and the director of bands here at the middle school. Tonight is a lot of logistics, as you can imagine, but I'm so thankful that you guys are here, and I have the honor and privilege of thanking all of our veterans for the sacrifices they've made to secure our safety and our freedoms, not only in our community, but across the nation and across the globe. In a moment, we will honor you by branch of service, but right now, I want to take a special moment to give our thanks and gratitude with applause. I want to also take this opportunity to thank the family members of our servicemen and women. Jared has talked about it. You'll hear from my friend Mr. Hawk here in a little bit. But the sacrifices made on the home front while their loved ones are away, they do not go unnoticed. Tonight, I have the special honor of recognizing the family of a veteran who is near and dear to our student council president and 8th grade percussionist, Jared Niger. When we started planning this program, Jared was very quick to ask all the right questions and provide me all the right information about this particular part of the program. He has family in attendance this evening from South Dakota and Nebraska to share this notable moment with all of us here tonight. At the age of 18, Timothy Hutchinson enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1976, where he was stationed at the Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. He served as a military police officer and was honorably discharged as a sergeant in 1980. This happened to be the same year he met his wife, Brenda. Tim and Brenda moved back to Maine, and Tim completed a degree in psychology while also serving in the Air Force Reserves. In April of 1987, Tim re-enlisted in the Army, where he served in the 106th Finance Company. That same year, Tim and Brenda served on the same deployment to Stuttgart, Germany. Tim also served during Operation Desert Storm in 1991 and was honorably discharged in June of 1994. Throughout his entire military career, Tim earned over 20 medals, including the Army Foundation Medal, and was an accomplished rifle marksman in both service branches. Today, Tim is survived by his wife Brenda and his daughters Courtney and Shannon. Tim passed away on February 10th, 2023, just 2 months before the birth of his first grandchild, Nico. Tonight, we want to take a moment and present his family with a certificate of honor in recognition of Tim's dedication and sacrifice to the United States military. Due to his passing in 2023, this certificate is gifted to his wife, Brenda, on his behalf. Thank you. On your way out this evening, and you may have seen it on the way in as well, but there's a whole table display of some of Sergeant Hutchinson's belongings. Take a minute. I looked through that earlier. There's some really interesting and neat things over there. At this time, I would like to invite Noah Schultes to the podium.
None is so easily recognized or more apt to evoke emotion than taps. The 24-note melody is both eloquent and haunting, and the history of its origin is interesting and somewhat clouded in controversy and myth. The use of taps is unique to the United States military, as the call is sounded at funerals, reclaim ceremonies, and memorial services. Taps originally began as a signal to extinguish lights and was an idea borrowed from the French up until the Civil War. The music for taps was changed by Major General Daniel Adams Butterfield for his brigade in July 1862. Butterfield was not too pleased with the call for extinguished lights, feeling that it was too formal to signal the day's end. With the help of his brigade bugler, Oliver Wilcox Norton, he created taps to honor his men while in camp at Harrison's Landing, Virginia, following the 7 days battles during the Peninsular Campaign. At this time, we ask that you please stand in silence to honor our fallen veterans during the playing of taps the service's foundation and represents its values, traditions, and culture. Even with its recent formation in 2019, the official song of the United States Space Force is now included in the next medley of songs, thanks to our very own veteran, Mr. Richard Hawk. At this time, the 8th grade band will be playing the marches of all the armed forces medley. If you are a current or veteran member of the United States military, please stand to be recognized as Student Council member Tristan Christ announces the song of your branch. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Richard Hawk. I am a musician of 52 years. I served with the 101st Airborne Division and the 38th Infantry Division. A retired first sergeant from the Army, a YMS and YHS band director's assistant, and a YHS criminal justice teacher. First, I would like to thank the YMS Student Council, the YES and the YMS choirs, Mrs. Miller and Mrs. Lowe for their direction of the choral program, and Mr. Miller, who is the chief engineer, master logistician, and coordinator for this evening's program. We would also like to thank Mr. Huber and Mr. Hall, our principal and vice principal, for their individual support of the entire music program here at YMS and this evening's presentation. May I ask once again that all military veterans please rise, if you can, or raise your hand in the air to receive recognition again. This entire program has been presented to honor you. But we also want to recognize the sacrifices made by your immediate families. You see, whether you are a spouse, a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, or the child of a veteran, you've made sacrifices as a family to silently honor the service of your family member. Missed birthdays, missed holidays, missed graduations, the birth of a new child, and a million other significant events life bestows upon us. Our families experience the loss of not having their family veteran present during the most important times of life. You sacrifice just as much as the military service member does. While the veteran is away from their families performing training exercises, attending a military school, or deployed to a faraway land needing assistance and support, it is the remaining family members who step forward to accomplish the daily responsibilities that are normally completed by our veteran. When we think of a veteran, the picture in our mind nearly always goes to a war-torn village or open battlefield in a different country. But we have all kinds of veterans who have served our country. Some served only a few years, while others served 20 or 30 plus years before retirement. But each of them, men and women, answered a call to duty with pride, patriotism, and the determination to be ready to defend our nation if and when they are needed. Some serve in a combat zone, while others serve decades during times of peace. Each of them are vital to our national security, constantly training, ready to respond if needed. Each veteran's service is a priceless gift to everyone in our nation. In addition to the active components of our armed forces, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and Space Force, we also have reserve components for each of these branches, except for the Space Force. But they're still developing, and I am going to project that at some point in the future there will be a reserve program for them as well. Furthermore, we also have an Army and an Air Force National Guard. Peace through strength. Peace through strength. Our nation is blessed with all of these different branches, but the most impressive aspect is that each of these branches of service consists of an all-volunteer force. No one was drafted. To everyone in this gym who has served or is currently serving in a branch of the military, to all the families with a family member who has previously served or is currently serving on active duty, we salute each of you for your sacrifice, and I am proud to identify each of you as one of my brothers and sisters in arms. We want to thank each of you for attending this evening's program. It was presented to honor all of our veterans. Thank you, and please have a safe travel home. Good night.